Good evening from Forward Operating Base Pasab in southern Afghanistan. We're reporting from here because this week marks the 10th anniversary of the war. In a CBS News poll, we asked Americans if the war has made the U.S. safer from terrorism. 47% said yes. 40% said it had no impact. 90,000 American troops are now fighting in Afghanistan. This base is the home to the 3rd Infantry Brigade Combat Team, part of the 10th Mountain Division, which is based at Fort Drum, New York. The 3rd Brigade is occupying ground that no American soldier has occupied before. The brigade is taking America's counterinsurgency strategy through the Taliban heartland, village by village, often striking at night to surprise the enemy. This is an American helicopter loaded with troops of the 4-4 Cavalry. They're headed to a town that they've tried to take before, but the last time they tried to reach Haji Portal on land, they lost a man. Major Johnny Cassiano leads his team into town at daybreak. The mission was to clear the enemy and make the very first contact with the village elders. First, Cassiano's men set up a defensive position in a home and courtyard. It turned out to be the best decision of the day.
Hey.
CBS News producer Randall Joyce recorded what happened next. The enemy started lobbing grenades into the courtyard. 2 soldiers were wounded immediately. In the moment that those rounds exploded in the courtyard, what are you trying to sort out?
First and foremost, where it's coming from. And immediately following that, is everybody okay?
That's Johnny Cassiano organizing the return fire.
You can't do anything without security, so you have to initiate overwhelming fire superiority and maintain security. That's the only way you're going to be able to treat the casualties, get the casualties out there, and allow for that medevac helicopter to come in.
That guy's hit!
1 Afghan soldier was hit, and so was Specialist Craig Pruden. Pruden had already been recommended for a Silver Star for Valor in a previous fight. The soldiers were medevaced out. The Afghan had a severe injury, but Pruden is expected to return to his unit in just a matter of days. For Major Cassiano, the fight was just the beginning of the day. A very short time later, you're sitting down with the village elder.
It's a switch that you have to be able to flip. It's a fine balance between showing the appropriate amount of compassion for those who deserve it, as well as the appropriate amount of aggression for those also who deserve it.
Cassiano tried to convince the villagers to come to a meeting of Afghans and Americans a few days from now. The strategy is to clear the village, hold it, and build it, what the Army calls COIN, short for counterinsurgency.
They had some land differences, concerns about who owned what pieces of land. They were not getting the water they needed, both for their livestock as well as their crops.
You had to shoot your way in to find out what their needs were.
We did, and that's COIN.
After nearly 48 hours in the village, Cassiano led his men out the way they came in, under cover of darkness. He used a beacon that can be seen only with night vision equipment to show the helicopters where to land.